making another video to promote my book, Metadimensional. um, yeah, so this one I'm gonna talk about my pet concept experience again because it's the main theme of this book, and I want to raise your awareness to something. So you might know that people, philosophers, people that work in AI, neuroscientists, many would say that they don't know what consciousness does, and by the term consciousness, they also refer to experience. That is primarily to experience. Like they know what identity does, what's the role of identity. They know what the role of memory, which are attributes of consciousness but not of experience. And but they don't know what it does, and they would say that it doesn't. It maybe consciousness, and by that they mean experience, is epiphenomenal. It's unnecessary, like subjective experience, qualia, not unnecessary. It doesn't do anything. It comes along for the ride, but it doesn't do anything. Why? Because you can measure that every decision you allegedly make, you can see the brain activation for it. And not only that, there were experiments in the 80s, I think, which showed that you can measure the neural activation before a person is aware of the decisions they're going to make, which is consistent with their decision. So it basically means that the physicality of decision making precedes the experiential aspects of it. Now, I'm not going to go in there. Assume that correct I assume it's correct in terms of evidence, but hold on. This is not. It's not the end of the. That's not the end of it. So, think about it this way. Let's say that's all true. What does that mean about experience? So you would think, if all the evidence you can find in nature for the role of experience, they don't exist. There is no role. Everything is determined by the physicality of it, by laws of nature, by mechanics that you can measure in space or in one way or another. So you'd think that means that experience has no role. It's epiphenomenal. It doesn't do anything. Just a property, emergent property of a process that could occur without it. Now, but then you have to consider a few more things. First, you have to consider the fact that evolution, biology spends so much time to get this thing called experience up and running, or at least that's what it seems like. It spends a lot of nutrients, a lot of its design to accommodate for experience. And if you followed my previous arguments regarding why perception is three-dimensional, and why do we perceive three-dimensional elements, and I said there that it's because it coheres with the requirements of perception, which is to perceive forms, and you can't perceive forms in less than 3 dimensions. And so put that aside. So biology for whatever reason wants it there. Now you have also the experiments like the double slit experiment, where the decision to measure or not to measure, which ignore for a moment the explanation that it's all the decision is all determined by the biology. That biology, don't forget, is being streamed into your perception by the same body that it allegedly describes. So it's like, it's not, you're asking the thing that could be faking it, if it's faking it. So you shouldn't believe it. And the body is like, there are things like false memories. The body is quite proficient at covering up its tracks and lying to your experience. So you have that. And so you make the decision. The decision changes reality in a way that is, you cannot explain it through the laws of nature, because it's just a decision that apparently does it. And then not only does it change reality, it also can breach the laws of nature. And what I mean by that is, if you, in the double slit experiment, there's a variant where you do the measurement after the experiment ended, and you can then change. You don't have to make the measurement at the time of the experiment. You can wait with that. And if you wait and then make the measurement, then read the measurement, then it's as if you made the measurement at the time of the experiment, which basically means that you can edit the past. Now, and you do that without the kind of time travel that you hear about in according to general relativity theory, like moving close to the speed of light and stuff like that. Nothing of the sort. You just make the decision. So what ends up being is that, on the one hand, you get the idea that experience does nothing, because the laws of nature account for everything it allegedly does. And then you have the other option, which looks actually more correct, more accurate, which is that, yes, in nature, you don't see any trace of the effects of experience. But it's not because experience doesn't do anything, but rather because experience overrides the laws of nature. So it's basically, experience is supernatural. It can change reality from outside the laws of nature. It can change the past. It can create a reality out of nothing that corresponds with its decision. So you basically reach the opposite conclusion, that instead of saying that experience is epiphenomenal, experience is supernatural in the strong sense, like what you'd attribute with, I don't know, magic.